Alright folks, welcome back to another Math Notes. This is Mr. Jewell. We're in section 1.3.1 and today we're going to be talking about scientific notation. Scientific notation is a topic that can sometimes be tricky for students. It just takes a little practice and a little thinking. Also really helpful if you remember your rules for adding and subtracting exponents. So let's go through it here. Scientific notation is a way of writing very large and very small numbers. If you think about your scientist, right, they've got to measure atoms and they've got to measure stars, and both of that's pretty big extreme. Atoms are super tiny, stars are super big, so we need to come up with a way to represent those numbers easily. The way we're going to do that is we're going to write that number as the product of two factors. In other words, two things multiplied together. The first factor is going to be between 1 and 10, all right? So it's greater than or equal to 1 but less than 10. So less than 10 means like 9.99. You never have two digits to the left of the decimal when you're doing scientific notation. The second factor is an integer power of 10. Talk about that, what that means in a second. It's going to be like 10 to the first, 10 to the second, 10 to the third, so on and so forth. Scientific notation usually uses the symbol X for multiplication instead of the dot or the parentheses. So will be written like this. For example, 2.56, see this is a number between 1 and 10, times 10 to the fifth, so that's your integer power of 10, is correctly written in scientific notation, but 25.6 times 10 to the fourth is not. All right, because the decimal needs to be moved over here to the behind the 2. All right, so here's a couple examples. Scientific notation. 5.32 times 10 to the sixth is the same thing as 5,320,000. 3.07 times 10 to the negative fourth is the same thing as 307. And I added in my own little box here for those of you that have TIs, in particular those calculators, and it's not uncommon to see them in other calculators as well. Calculators often represent scientific notation with this E. So they would have 5.32 E6, and that means the same thing as 5.32 times 10 to the 6th. The same way that 3.07 E negative 4 is the same thing as 3.07 times 10 to the negative 4. 10 to the 6th, let's talk about moving between these forms real fast. 10 to the 6th is a 1 with 6 zeros. That's 1 million. So if we take 5.32 times 1 million, we end up with 5,320,000. A lot of times we're taught to do that just to move the decimal 6 places to the right. Okay. 10 to the negative fourth is 0.0001. So if we do 0.0001 times 3.07, you get 0.000307. Sometimes you'll be given a mixed number, like in the example above, where that's not quite in scientific notation, so it's 25.6 times 10 to the fourth. So that decimal's in the wrong place. So the way that they suggest you fix that is to take the 25.6, kind of separate it from the 10 to the fourth the way they've done here, and then rewrite 25.6 in scientific notation. So if I want to write 25.6 in scientific notation, I need to move the decimal 1 to the left. So I'm going to make this number smaller. It's going to go from 25 to 2. That means I need to increase the exponent on my 10. I could think of it like this. I could think of it as times 10 to the 0. 10 to the 0 is 1, so this would be 25.6 times 1. If I move the decimal to the left, I need to increase the exponent on this, so it's 2.56 times 10 to the first. Then I remember my exponent laws, and I say 10 to the first times 10 to the fourth. When you're multiplying exponents with the same base, you can add the exponent, so 1 plus 4 is 5, and you have 2.56 times 10 to the fifth. All right, let's take a look at the sample problems. I have 3 problems here. I'm asking you to convert the following to scientific notation. So they're in standard notation, convert them to scientific notation. And 3 where you're going the other direction, converting from scientific notation to standard notation. By the way, this little caret right here, that means 10 to the 9th. This means 10 to the negative 5th, and this means 10 to the 7th. Alright guys, give that your best shot, and